भगवत्कृपयालब्धं सद्गुरुम् ईशं च तत्कृपालब्धं जाननोपकृतिमहिते भगवती परमां भक्तिम् आतनुते. Hello friends, good day. Thanking today's sponsor Mr. P. Vimal from London, I plunge into the topic of today. Today's topic is a very interesting one. Many would be wondering what Samudrika Shasthra is. These two are Sanskrit words. It means the science of human features. Some people translate it as phrenology, but I don't think it is a right translation, because phrenology deals with the skull and it is a subject related to psychology. I don't think there is any fitting translation for this Samudrika Shasthra. If I am to invent a term, I would say it is featureology. Featureology means a science which deals with the features of human being. Facial features, bodily features. Now what do these features have to do with today's topic? Indians believe that a man's bodily features are not just accidental. There is a cause behind everything. It denotes a man's fortune. A man's past, present and future are decided by his features. There are many skeptics about it. I won't say everybody believes in it. Once again, it's a question of faith. First of all, I would explain to you the cause for such a topic. That is the term, how it came to be. It is said that while Lord Vishnu was reposing upon the ocean of milk with his consort, Goddess Lakshmi, the Adhidevata, or the Lord for the sea, he is Samudra Raja. He noticed that Lord Vishnu was perfect in every feature of his body. He was bewitchingly handsome. His features were remarkably beautiful. So what he did was, he simply took down the details of his features. How long the nose is, how broad the forehead is, how wide the face is. Like that, he noted down 32 lakshanas. Some say it is 33. 32 features of his body. And wrote a Shastra, that is a science in Sanskrit, and gave it to the world, so that they would understand that any human being who has such features will enjoy fortune. Or if any feature is deficit in length, or in elevation, or in depression, misfortune occurs. So, since the science was written by Samudra Raja, it came to be called as Samudrika Shasthra. That Shastra or that science written by Samudra is called Samudrika. Just as Sri Rama is called Dasarathi because he is the son of Dasaratha, just as Sita is called Janaki because she is the daughter of King Janaka. Because King Samudra wrote this Shastra, the Shastra came to be called as Samudrika Shasthra. There is a sloka telling this. Purushottamasya Lakshmiya samam nijo utsangam adishayanasya subhalakshanane drishtuva kshanam samudraha puradadhyau. So he created this science. Then what happened? The next sloka says, whom he gave this to? Tadapi Narada Lakshaka Varaha Mandavya Shadmuka Prumukaihi Rachitam Kvachit Prasangat Purushastri Lakshanam Kinchit. He first gave it to sage Narada. Then Narada gave it to sage Lakshaka. He gave it to sage Varaha. He gave it to sage Mandavya. From Mandavya, the son of Lord Shiva Subramanya, Shanmuka, he picked up the science. Then, from him, it spread to the world. The rishis maintained the tradition. Till now, those slokas are alive because of Shanmuka, and some call it, because of this reason, as a Karthikeyan school. From time of yore, this Shastra has been very much believed in and alive in practical life. Gone are those days when men lived with all these 32 or 33 Lakshanas. But now, in Kali Yuga, 2015 AD, I don't think there is anybody who is with all these 32 or 33 Lakshanas. Nobody. At best we can say there are some people who have a sort of resemblance of those Lakshanas, a diminished quota of those Lakshanas. Even then, I think when I propagate this, this is going to be useful for self-judgment. We can look into the mirror and judge whether you are lucky or not, referring to these features. Or when you look at others, your son or your children or your friends, you can judge their fortune. It's a practical science. Of course, there are people who say even today it is stupid. How can there be a connection between a man's fortune and these features of his body? It is hereditary. A son will look like his father, a son will look like his mother. It is after all a hereditary biological factor. Why do you bring in fortune to that? No, that's a matter of faith. I shall tell you how I came to believe in this. I would say some 30 years back or so, when I was newly married, I heard of a person, one Mr. Ganesan, living in Senjai, which is a part of Karaikudi. It is near Madurai, who is capable of exactly telling your date of birth and time of birth and place of birth from the lines of your palm. He would also cast your horoscope and give it to you. And people said it is astoundingly correct. I was very much fascinated. I was skeptic about this. I thought it is not possible. How can there be a connection with the lines of your palm with the time factor, the eternal time factor? I was not ready to believe it. So, I decided to check it up. I went to him personally. He said, show me your thumb. He applied some ink upon my first phalange of the thumb. He took the imprint. He took a lens and saw through it. Then he started calculations. It is not anything supernatural or devilish or anything like that. Purely calculations. After an engrossed calculation for some 20 minutes, he looked up, looked at me and said, Mr. So-and-so, you are born on 16/10/1951. It was morning, 10:30. It happened in Madurai. It was 13 days earlier to Deepavali. These details simply sank me into surprise. I could not get out of my surprise. So shocking and so astounding. He also cast my horoscope and gave it to me. It was exactly identical with what my father had written for me. Oh my goodness, what a science it is. I asked him how he could do it. He showed some palm leaves upon which it is written. If it is a loop upon the thumb, it means this number. If it is a word, it is this number. If it is a complex loop, it is this number. So we calculate. It's a calculation given to us by ancient rishis, sages. My father did it and I am doing it. Many people from Germany, from America, from England have come and tested me. They accepted their defeat. So is my past experience, he said. Oh, what a great thing. From that day, I started believing in this, that there is some unknown connection between a man's fortune and his bodily structure. So, if a man has a long nose, it is not merely hereditary or just accidental. It has something to do with his past, present and future. It's a wonderful science, I found. Then I went in search of Shastras in that line. I could get shlokas about this science. I read them with enthusiasm, with a thirst for knowledge. And all that I cannot give you now, because it is a vast ocean. What I can give you now is just a drop of that ocean, just a sample of it. Try it. Now, one shloka, please follow me. Jaganyam navati proktam madhyamantu chatangulam ashtottara satam yasya rupam uttama lakshanam. It means, if you are 90 angulas, it's not very good. If you are 100 angulas in height, not bad. If your height is 108 angulas, it is best. What does he mean by angula? Angula does not have any relevance to the modern inch or centimeter. By angula, the rishis mean the width of this index finger, this width, the breadth of this index finger. Everyone must be measured height-wise by his own index finger. If you want to measure your height, you must not take my index finger's breadth. You must be measured by your index finger's breadth. So, this width is called 1 angula. If your height is 90 angulas by this scale of measurement, the Rishi says it is not that good. If it is 100 angulas, okay, not bad. If it is 108 angulas, it is best. It augurs well. Then comes the next sloka. Panchadirgham, Chaturhrasvam, Panchasukshmam, Shadunnatam, Saptaraktam, Trigambiram, Trivistirnam, Prasasyate. In human body, 5 organs must be long, Panchadirgham. Chaturhrasvam, 4 must be short. Panchasukshmam, 5 must be slender or nice. Shadunatam, 6 must be elevated. Saptaraktam, 7 organs must be red. Trigambiram, 3 must be deep. Trivistirnam, 3 organs must be wide and broad. Prasasyate, that is praiseworthy. So if you add this, you will get the number 32. Or this sattvam means courage. That's also included. It will make it 33. We will go to the amplifying section now. First we will take Panchadirgham, 5 long limbs. What are they? The Rishi gives a sloka. Bahu, Netrantram, Chaiva, Hanu, Nasa, Viseshatah, Stanayor, Antaram Chaiva, Panchadirgham, Prasasyate. 5 places must be long. What are they? Bahu. Bahu means hand. Starting from here till the tip of this finger. It's Bahu. It must be long. How long? What is the limit? Have you heard of a word? Ajanubahu. Ajanubahu. If you had read any Sanskrit book, or if you had read any book of the local language with much of Sanskrit mixing, you would come across this word. Sri Rama was Ajanubahu. The word Ajanubahu is coined this way. A means till. Janu means knee. Bahu means hand. The hand must be so long as to reach your knee. You hang your hand, extend your palm, and see. Watch your figure before the mirror. You will see invariably the hand will not reach the knee. Most of us, well, I would say in 2015 AD, all people are like that. But there was a time when men had long hands. So, the first long limb is Bahu. Netrantram. Netrantram means the white of the eye. The white of the eye must be long. You watch the paintings of Ajanta, Cave Ajanta, or you watch the paintings in Sarfoji Mahal, Tanjore, or you watch the paintings of king's figures in Meenakshi temple, you will see their eyes will be long. I cannot show you a living example now, but if you watch these sculptures and paintings, you can notice this. Netrantram, long eyes. Chaiva Hanuhu. What is Hanu? Hanu is this portion. You see, starting from here, the jaw, this portion of it, the cheek and the jaw. It must be long. If someone looks at your face from the side, he must be able to note that this jaw doesn't sink here, it extends to it. Not like an old man or old lady. It should be healthy. For a young man it will be like that if it's a good lakshana. And even this you can watch these paintings. And for example, I would quote this. You go to Egyptian pyramids. In Egyptian pyramids, the paintings of the kings, the pharaoh, they will show you that. They will have long eyes, the jaw will be long, the shoulders will be high. But such examples have ceased now. Then, Nasa means nose. Nose must be long. It must not be suppressed. No, it must be long. If viewed from the side, the nose must be projecting long. Visheshataha, it's very good. Stanayorantaram, you have these two black spots here, nipples. The space between these two must be quite long. That means your chest is broad. Stanayorantaram chaiva panchadirgam prashasyate. These are the 5 long limbs. Then the sage talks of the short limbs. Griva, prajananam, prishtam, yasya jangha, visheshataha, hrasvani yasya chatvari, pujam apnoti manavaha. Griva. Griva is neck. You would have heard about a character in Sri Ramayana, Sugriva. Sugriva means well-necked. His neck is beautiful. The neck must not be long. For some people you can see the neck will be long as 6 inches or 9 inches. It will give an odd appearance. The neck must be tolerable. Griva. Prajananam. Prajananam is the male sex organ. The male sex organ is supposed to be short. It should not be long. Hrasvalingo and Ripobhaya, they say. A man whose penis is short will reach high heights. Prishtam. Prishtam means what you call buttocks, the back area. Your seat, your asana. It must be short. Yes, jangha. Jangha means foreleg, below the knee till the foot. It must be tolerably short or not very long. If the portion of the leg below the knee is very long, you can see usually such people go for menial jobs. They toil physically very much. Visheshataha. Hrasvani yasya chatvari. These are the 4 organs. It should be short. Such a man, pujam apnoti manavaha, he is very much respected in society. That means he finds himself in such a status. Then, sukshmam. Sukshmani anguli parvani, kesha, danta, naka, tvacha, pancha sukshmani, yesham tu te naraha, dirga jivinaha. That is, 5 things must be slender or nice. The word sukshma in Sanskrit has 2 meanings. One is thin, slender. Another is smooth, nice. Anguli parvani. Anguli means fingers. Parvani means phalanges. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. When you want to count, you must start from the base. This is 1, this is 2, this is 3. It's called phalanges. Anguli parvani. These must be slender, not very big. If it is very big, it's not good. You watch the statues of Hindu temples, you can see Brahma or Vishnu or Lord Shiva like this, sitting in this mudra, blessing people. You watch those fingers won't be thick like a banana. They'll be slender. That's good. Even today you can find very fortunate rich people, They have slender fingers. Sukshmani anguli parvani. Kesha. Kesha means hair. Your hair must not be thick, like an African Negro. It must be thin. Kesha Dantaha. Danta means teeth. Your teeth must be small made. When you open your mouth and laugh, the person who is standing before you must not be frightened to see very big teeth. It should be measured, square, small, and well arranged. So, Danta. Naka. Naka means nail. The nails of the hand must be small and also glossy, nice, smooth to feel. This sister of Ravana, Shurpanaka, was called by that name because her nails were broad. In India, in those days, women used to have a particular thing by which they will clean rice. It's called Surpa. Her nails were like that. So she was called Surpanaka. It's not a good thing. Tvachaha. Tvachaha means skin. Skin must be very smooth and, while you feel it, it must be smooth. It must not be rough like a crocodile. So these are the Panchasukshmani Yesham tu Tenaraha Dirghajivinaha. So men who are bestowed with these features, these 5 nice and slender limbs, they will live long. Longevity is a great boon. Then, next comes Kakshaha, Kuchihi, Vakshaha, Chagranaha, Skandaha, Lalatika, Sarvabhuteshu, Nirdishtam, Unnatam, Shat, Prasasyate. Now, Kakshaha means waist. This waist, you see, it must not be sunken in. Kukchihi means belly, stomach. Around the navel, you must see a slight elevation of the belly like a tortoise back. Vakshaha. Vakshaha means chest. It must be elevated. Granaha means nose. It must be from the beginning elevated. Skandaha means shoulders. Shoulders must be placed in such a way that when you allow your hands to hang down, these hands must not touch your waist. The shoulder must be here. The shoulder must be here. So that when you hang your hands, there will be gap between the waist and the hand. You watch the statue of Sri Ramanuja, or you watch the drawings of the pharaohs of Egypt, you can find that. So it must be high placed. Lalatika. Lalatika means this forehead. This forehead, most of us have a depression here in the forehead. When you look at your face from the sides, there will be a ditch here. Here or here or here. It must not be like that. A forehead must be like upper meniscus. That's good, Lalatika. Sarvabhuteshu nirdishtam unnatam shatu prasasyate. So these 6 limbs must be high placed, elevated. Then Pada, Pani, Tale, Rakte, Netre, Api, Nakani cha. Talu, Jihva, Adroshtyam, Sapta, Raktam prasasyate. What are those organs which should be red? Raktam means red. Pada, the sole, the foot, must be not yellow, it must be reddish, slightly reddish, or slightly orange. That's why In Ramayana and Mahabharata we find Lord Sri Rama and Lord Sri Krishna. They had their feet lotus-like. Lotus, watch this lotus, you'll find the color, rose color. The Panitale, this palm must not be yellow, it must be reddish. Netram, the eyes, you see, the eyes must have reddish nerves at the end. Nakanicha, the color of the nails, it must not be yellow or it must not be white. The blood supply can be seen from up. It must be like that. Talu means palate. The area where the tongue goes and touches above. Talu. Jihva, tongue must be red. Adroshtyam. Adroshtyam means lower lip. It must be red. Saptaraktam prasasite. These are the 7 reddish organs. You see, in Ramayana we find, though Rama was black in color, these 7 limbs were, 7 organs were reddish. And Valmiki writes that it looked as though there were 7 lotuses blossomed upon a blue hill. Rama was blue in color, or a little black. And these 7 organs were reddish. It looked as though a blue mountain had 7 lotuses blossomed. This is how Rama or Krishna or Lord Vishnu is described. So this reddish color is not just accidental, it has a connotation. Saptaraktam prasasite. If these are 7, they are praiseworthy. Supposing we have only 2 of them red or 3 of them red, okay, to that much you are lucky. If all the 7 are red, okay, very good, very good. You are very lucky. Whatever description here is given of any organ will be taken into account even if the structure of that organ is little short of the expected mark. Then comes Gambiram, Trigambiram. 3 things must be majestic. Swaraha, Sattvam, Chainabhischa, Trigambiram prasasite. 3 must be deep, must be majestic. What is that? Number 1, Swaraha. For Swaraha, there are 2 interpretations. Some say it denotes breath. Your breath must be deep. Inhaling very deep and exhaling slowly. But mostly people say Swaraha indicates your voice. Your voice must be deep. In practical life even today, you can find people who have a deep voice command respect. They get things done faster. Lord Sudarsana's name is Bhimaravaha. Bhimaravaha means a person who has a terrifying voice. You must be capable of terrifying your enemies by your mere voice. So the voice must be deep. That's a lakshana, that's a lucky feature. Swaraha. Sattvam. Sattvam means courage. How bold you are to face life. How are you going to make it out? Look at the eyes, you can see. The eyes will be lustrous. You can see this person is bold, venturous. He is fit for great things. For example, I would say, Vivekananda had those eyes. His eyes were sparkling with courage. He walked like a lion upon the stage in Chicago. It is written that he was only 5'7" in height, but he looked as though he was 6 feet. Such a majestic walking, because that courage he had, it reflected upon his eyes. There is a Sanskrit proverb called Kriyas Siddhi Sattve Bhavati. Success in your attempts depends upon your courage. Dhairye sahase Lakshmi. Where is Goddess Mahalakshmi? The goddess for blessings, the goddess for money. Wherever there is courage, you can see her. It is a simple explanation. Today we find billionaires, world crores. In the beginning they were very humble in life, but they had the courage enough to start a business, to venture investing money in risky endeavors. They succeeded. That is how they became rich. So, your luck depends upon your courage, how far you are bold to do a thing. That is how leaders became world famous. Winston Churchill, Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose, and eminent leaders. You take their photos and see, you can read from their eyes how they looked at you boldly, how lustrous their eyes are, shining bright with boldness and courage, looking sharp at you. That is a lakshana, that is a fortune. In fact, I would say the deciding factor of a man's fortune is in his sattvam. There are 32 or 33 lakshanas. Which is the deciding one? This sattvam. A man might have a suppressed nose, a dark lower lip, or his ears are not good. He may have several minus features. But if he is bold enough and if his eyes are bright enough to declare that he is a venturous man, he rises high. So, this sattvam is an important lakshana. Nabhi. That is, Nabhi here means, the Gambhiram means depth, very deep Nabhi. Your navel must not be protruding outside. It must be deep. Trigambiram prasasyate. Then, Trivistirnam, three things wide and broad. What are they? Urashiro lalatamscha trivistirnam prasasyate. Uraha. Uraha means chest, it must be wide, broad. Shiraha, the head must be wide. The head must be wide. Lalatam, forehead. Forehead must be broad. Trivistirnam prasasyate. When the head is broad, when the forehead is broad, naturally the face is broad. You can find, you see, in life people who have a suppressed face, as though something has been sucked out of from their face, sunken cheeks, bones protruding. These people have too much of tribulations in life. I will give an example of Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln, because of his luster in his eyes, he became the president. But he had so many problems in his life. His love was a failure. Personally, he was not happy. So many worries, so many oppositions, so many tribulations, so many defeats in his life. So, the head must be broad, the forehead must be broad. Naturally, the face will be broad. The chest must be broad. Shiraha, Urash Shiro Lalatamscha Trivistirnam Prasasyate. Then he comes to give a general statement. He says, Mukyam tu urdhvam sharirasya tatrapi mukham uchyate tatrapi nasika sreshta sreshte tatrapi chakchushi. In your body, the upper portion is more important than the lower portion. Even in the upper portion, face is more important than other organs. Even in the face, nose is important. More important than nose is the eyes. The eyes will tell you how much sattvam the person has. So, I told you before, the eyes decide a man's altitude which he will reach. Then next says, Varnat parataraha snehaha, snehat parataraha swaraha, swarat parataraha sattvam, sarvam sattve pratishtitam. Varna means complexion of your body. By complexion, it doesn't refer to your red color or black color or white color. Your complexion must not be pale. It must not be pale. But more important than the complexion is sneha. Sneha means a little oily. It must be glossy because of an oily surface. Even today we can find among rich people or affluent people some oily nature of the skin. Snehat parataraha swaraha. More important than that oily, smooth surface, swaraha, your breath and voice are important. Swarat parataraha sattvam. More important than the voice or breath is sattvam, the boldness, courage. Sarvam sattve pratishtitam. I told you, this courage is the deciding factor. So, whether a man will shine in this worldly life or not can be decided even while he is a baby. In the elementary school, you can find children, 40 or 50 children playing. But a few children will be very smart. They will be very bold. You can read that from their eyes. Those children grow up to be leaders, to be rich people, to be successful men. He says, Sarvam Sattve Pratishtitam. Supposing you are not born lucky, you are worried about it, some Mahan or a great soul advises you to pray to God, you get some mantra as Upadesha, you start praying. The instant result is this. Your nose does not change, your ears do not change, your jaws do not change, your teeth do not change, your hands and feet do not change. But one thing changes. What is that? The luster of your eyes. God gives you courage to undertake venturous things. A coward becomes bold. Once he becomes bold, he steps into risky attempts. God blesses him, he succeeds. And that is how we find very successful leaders and rich men. Though they do not have other features, they are successful just because their eyes are bold and lustrous. So if you want to judge how high you will go in your life, or how high your children will go, look into the eyes. They will tell you stories and secrets. That is where God has decided a man whether he is lucky or not. That is where his fate has been written. So, however unlucky you might have been born, however bad your horoscope might be, you believe in God, ask for His grace and boon, He bestows upon you sattvam, courage. He makes you a successful man. Once that sinks down, well, you are gone. That is why the 8 aspects of Goddess Lakshmi, when they are labelled, one aspect is Dhairya Lakshmi. This Lakshmi bestows upon you courage. That Lakshmi gives you courage enough to start a business or to command people or to become a leader. That is a basic requisite. So in Samudrika Shasthra, the sattvam is most important. This is changeable. This varies from time to time. When Pandavas were in the forest paying for their past karma, Sage Vyasa says this sattvam had diminished. Because in good period, your eyes shine, your face shines. In bad periods, the shining sinks down. So, you can make out at the very sight of a man or a woman how far lucky that person would be. This is the secret which Indian rishis taught the world. Then, I go to the next sloka. It says, Uro Vishalo Dhanadhanya Bhogi Shiro Vishalo Nripapungavascha Kati Vishalo Bahuputra Dharaha Vishala Padas Satatam Sukhi Syate Uro Vishalaha Dhanadhanya Bhogi. A man whose chest is very wide, he will enjoy dhana and dhanya, money and food grains. He will enjoy. He will be a landlord owning tens of acres where he can cultivate rice or wheat or any grain. And he can sell it, become a rich man. Ura Vishala Dhana Dhanya Bhoge. Shira Vishalaha Nripapungavascha, a man whose head is big, he grows into a man and a person who attains a kingdom. He will live like a king. Kati Vishalaha Bahuputra Dharaha. For some, the waist will be very wide. They get too many children or too many wives. Vishala Pada Satatam Sukhi Syat. A man whose foot is very broad, he will also be happy. This is an observation the Rishi has made. Then, Akarma Katinau Hastau Padau Chadbhani Komalau Yasya Padau Chapani Chatasya Rajyam Vinirdishet. When you feel your palm, when you feel like that, it must not be rough. It must be soft like a lotus. That is a good feature, that augurs well. It indicates you will be rich, you will be fortunate. If your palm is very rough, well, God has destined you for a toilsome life. That's what this sloka says. Then, Vamahaste tu narinam purushanam tu dakshine chinhani rupaye dhiman samudravachanam yata. When you want to read the palm of a woman, you watch her left palm or the left side of her body for moles and for features. If it is a man, go to the right side. When you read the palm of a man, take his right palm. When you want to judge his features, go to his right side. When you want to judge him by moles, go to the right side. That is Samudra Vachanam. Samudra Vachanam means Samudra Raja has told like that. Then he comes to the little finger. He says, Anamika parvam adhikrameti chet kanishtika varshasatam sa jivati. When you stretch your palm like this, when this little finger crosses this line, that is the entrance of the top phalange of this finger, if it exceeds it, he will live for 100 years. Same tvashiti vishametu saptati. If it is just equal to that, the longevity will be 70 years. Yavardahine kalu sashtim adishet. If it is below this line, to the breadth of a grain, a barley or a wheat, he will live only for 60 years. This is one estimate. Then he speaks of this heart line. Kanishtanguli moolattu rekha gachati tarjanim avichinna nivarna chet shatamayur vinirdishet. When a line starts from the bottom of this little finger and runs with red color till the bottom of this index finger, he will have a long life. So that also indicates longevity. Then he comes to the forehead, he says, Lalate yatra drishinte rekha panchakamayavatu avichinna vivarna chet chatamayur vinirdesh. If you can see 5 lines upon the forehead, he says he will live for 100 years. That indicates longevity according to him. Then one more sloka. Chakshuhu snehena saubhagyam. If the eyes are very glittering, glossy, that augurs wealth. Danta snehena bhojanam. If the teeth are not dry, if the teeth are shiny, he will get good food, tasty food. Tvachaka snehena shayanam. If the skin is smooth, oily and shiny, he will enjoy very comfortable beddings. He will enjoy very good sleep. Tvachaha snehena shayanam, pada snehena vahanam. Take the sole of the foot. If the foot is not rough, if it is smooth, if it is a little oily, if it is a little rose in color, he will get vehicles. In those days, chariots were vehicles, elephants were vehicles, horses were vehicles. Today, motorbikes, cars, buses, trains, planes, like that. He will be a owner of vehicles. Then he speaks of your thumb. Anguštodara madhye tu yuvo yasya virajate yavo yasya vijarate virajate utpanna bhojya bhakshascha anandam sukhamedate. You see the thumb. This is the topmost phalange. Here you find a line dividing. If you find the shape of a barley or a wheat or a paddy here in the middle, that will indicate that such a person will never starve. He will get food from somewhere. Starvation he will never face. That is a secret. Then he comes to the hairs of the body. Ekaroma bhavet raja, dviroma pandito bhavet, triroma chaturoma va swalpayur adhano bhavet. You see hairs here upon your skin. You take a lens, watch through it, you will find one thing. From some holes, only one hair will shoot out. From some holes, 2 hairs will be sprouting. From some holes, 3. From some holes, 4. I might be fascinating to you, but to watch it, you will find out that what I say is right. Now the Rishi says, if the majority of your hairs upon the skin of the body or ekaroma means 1 hair from 1 root, such a person will live like a king. If 2 hairs shoot out from 1 hole, he will become a scholar. If 3 or 4 from 1 hole, he will be short-lived and he will suffer from monetary wants. He will be poor. So, 3 hairs and 4 hairs from 1 hole, not good. Then one more observation. Bahureko bahukleshi swalparekastu nirdanaha rathango dhanamapnoti suklango preshitam prajete. Bahureko bahukleshi. Upon your palm, if you find too many lines like a web, like a spider's web, well, you are finished. You are going to be jammed by worries. Bahureko bahukleshi. Too many worries. You might be rich, but worries will be gnawing you. Bahureko bahukleshi. Swalparekastu nirdanaha. Suppose there are 2 less in number, only 1 or 2. Even that is not good. You will become a beggar. There must be minimum 5 or 6 lines. Then Rattango dhanam apnoti. If the palm is very reddish, you will be always getting money in times of need. You won't be in want of money. Shuklango preshitam prejit. Suppose your palm is pale, it's not reddish, whitish or pale yellow. Well, it's not good. It says that you will suffer in life. You might even court imprisonment. And then I'll make a last reference. Rekhayaha pratirekayasya jayante yatra ropinaha apamrityur bhavet tasam rekamanena nirdishete. If upon the lifeline you find another crisscross line intersecting, you are bound to get an accident or you might die at that age. And that has to be studied with the help of a lens. Or you must approach a trained palmist, a reliable palmist. He would tell you what it is. And while you come to the palm, another avenue opens up. The sage says, Nasti hastat param pustakam. There is no book better than your palms. You see, you close your palms like this. When you open them, it opens like a book. The Rishi says, this book is the most informative book in the world. No encyclopedia in the library can equal this, because your whole life is written in that. So, Nasti hastat param pustakam. So, in Samudrika Shasthra, Hasta Samudrika Shasthra, namely the palm science, chiromancy, palmistry, that is a separate study. And it has a very deep knowledge to give you. I think I will stop here and meet you in Samudrika Shasthra Part 2, in which I might deal with the lines of the palm, the mounds of the palm, the structure of the palm, the length of the fingers, and such things. But that is a separate division. I don't want to mix that with this. I would be contented with this much. Thank you.